Hello friends, myself Ashish Kundu from Group 4, Subgroup 1. Today our topic is
The ancient Greek sophists.
Sophist is a teacher in ancient Greek in the 5th and 4th BCE.
A sophist may be certain Greek lecturer, writer, or a teacher in the 5th and 4th century BCE. Most of them traveled about the Greek speaking world and give instructions in a worldwide range of subjects in return of fees. The sophists held no values other than winning and succeeding. They were not true believers in the myths of Greek but would use reference from the tales for their own purpose. They were secular atheists, relativists, and cynical about religious beliefs and all traditions. While Socrates looked for objective and eternal truths, the sophists were promoting ideas of relativism and subjectivism, wherein each person decides for him or herself what the true and the good and the beautiful are. The difference between Socrates and the sophists is that Socrates believed in that universal standards exist to guide individuals in matters such as justice and beauty, while the sophists believed that it is powerful people's job to determine these points of knowledge themselves. The main difference between the sophists and the other philosophers is that the sophists were essential rhetoric teachers while the other philosophers were more interested in seeking the truth. Sophistry is the deliberate use of false argument with the intent to trick someone or a false or untrue argument. An example of sophistry is when you use a fact in an argument to make your point even though you know the point is false. Means whenever see if you fall in an argument with your friend or somebody else, you give them an argument or give them an example which really don't exist, but to prove yourself you give that example, and to become right you explain it. This is called sophistry. The sophists said that man is the measure of all things. Means the man can do anything. If he thinks it, he can do it. As the sophists studied many subjects like grammar, mathematics, physics, politics, ancient history, music, astronomy, philosophy, and many more. So they don't believe in God, but they think that a human can do anything. If he thinks it, he can do it. Here, as you see in this mind map, sophists used the two tactics, that is relativism and subjectivism. And then Socrates used moral ethics and philosophy. Then Plato used dialogue, influence, and theory of forms. And then Aristotle used work, method, and logic.
Myself Geeta, and now I will explain you about sophists. There were nearly 50 sophists in 5th century BC. The most important were Protagoras, Antiphons, Gorgias, etc. Protagoras from 490 BC to 420 BC. He was regarded as first sophist by Plato. Plato said that Protagoras was the professional sophist. His thoughts were, let us hold our discussion together in our own persons, making trial of the truth and of ourselves. The second sophist was Gorgias. He was from 482 BC to 375 BC. He was the first generation of sophist. In his thought, he proved it. He said that nothing exists. Even if something exists, nothing can be known about it. And even if something can be known about it, knowledge about it cannot be communicated to others. The third sophist was Antiphon. He was from 479 BC to 411 BC. He was the writer of Sophist Treatises. His thinking was one's own character inevitably comes to resemble things one spends most of one's day with. The fourth important sophist in Greek was Thrasymachus. He was from 499 BC to 400 BC. He was best known as a character in Plato's Republic. He believed that justice is nothing but advantage of stronger, seems to support the view that moral values are socially constructed. Thus, in his thought, he said that I say justice is nothing other than what is advantage for stronger. As we know, sophists charge money in exchange of education and wisdom, so they were employed by wealthy people. But philosophers like Socrates and Plato were not sophists, as they were not taking money for their education and spreading their knowledge. But at some point, Aristotle was called as sophist because Aristotle did not accept payment from Philip, but he requested that Philip to reconstruct his hometown at Staggeria as payment, which was destroyed by Philip in his champion.
Hello everyone, my name is Sneashish Karmakar and today I'll be talking about the topic of the Greek sophist. Now, this topic has been well explained by Arthur Holmes of Wheaton College, United Kingdom, in a video which says about the sophist, who were sophists, what they did to the history of philosophy and its development, what did they do to the society, what did they do to the education system, and how they comprehended everything in the world, and how they dealt with the pre-scientific scientist era of education and learning. It was a time of 4th and 5th century where people were discovering and discussing new things. There was always a wonder to everyone. Every significant phenomenon, from very small to big, was an inquiry and a puzzle to every human being, because that was the phase when people, a couple of thousand of years or maybe a lakh of years, a million of years, where people just turned from early man to man, a transition phase, and there were kings and queens and priests, and most of the phenomena were explained by religious or theological aspect rather than to have a strong scientific view. Now, sophists were a group of people who were not philosophists, because back then, up to that moment, philosophists were not properly established. There was a narrow understanding about philosophy, but sophists were prevalent ones. What was their job during those periods? The sophists were the people who, rather than having a true understanding of a subject, only took the part which is necessary to them, and they also practiced and preached them in order to gain financial benefits out of it.
Sophists were deviated to the non-logical means than knowledge and truth to explain cosmological phenomena. They were usually rhetorics at times. Now, the term rhetorics literally means the people who spoke language designed to have a persuasive and impressive effect, but which is often regarded as lacking in sincerity and meaningful content. Rhetorics, as if in the 21st century, it's quite amazing. Yes, they still exist. To our surprise, where they exist, they still follow the social norms up to a limit where they can secure a strong place. Then they begin to reform society or parts of the society according to their own will and benefits. Rhetorics make all sorts of arguments, or sophists rather, make all sorts of arguments which usually are baseless. But the harsh truth is that they possess a lot of followers. These so-called followers are either undereducated or uneducated. The root cause of so many followers, especially in developing countries, is for personal benefits or gain, or rather an assurance for job opportunity. Sophists may be politicians, they may be pseudo-intellectual underqualified students. To be specific, they may have a strong social skill in order to get things done. In the lecture by Arthur Holmes, there are many quotations. For instance, the quotation of Democritus, where he rejected morality. He said morality is grounded and nature of reality is ordered to enjoy same way. Then Abseder McIntyre, he wrote 3 volumes of History and Ethics. And there was Socrates who gave the germinal thinking. He claimed, or he was somehow
an intellectual person and thinker, and it came to him in his genetics because his mother was an intellectual midwife who practiced intellectual midwifery in those times. Well, the question arises, what was the true belief of sophist? Sophist in ancient Greek, they thought of not much of religious inclination, or neither they were true scientists. They had somewhat a borderline personality, or rather, to put into account, they were not true scientists, they were not true religious priests, but they got into proper use of making the knowledge from both the parts. They gave examples of Greek mythology in order to prove their point at times, and sometimes they use scientific approach or some well-known phenomenon which is occurring in the nature or in the society currently in trending in order to prove their point. Are sophists still existing in 21st century? Well, the question is yes. The best sophists in modern day world are lawyers. They do the argument, they make truth a lie, they make a lie truth, they are arguers for hire, they do things in such a way in the court of justice, and they outshine one another while doing so, and they are the best in their field. Now the question arises, do sophists believe in God, or did the sophists believe in God and its existence? The answer is the man is the measure of itself. It's an argument given by ancient sophists, which says that whatever man does in his lifetime is going to be his outcome, his religion, his profession, and so on. The sophists believed in mathematics, in grammar, in psychology, in various science in those prehistoric times, rather than believing in God and its existence. Well, another question comes, what is the difference between sophistry and philosophy? Well, it's a very easy differentiation. Philosophy by the word itself means a true lover of wisdom, or a lover for wisdom, while sophistry or sophist are the person who undergo an effort to make arguments which are only beneficial to them, and while doing so they charge some fees, and that's all. What were the key ideas or motive of sophist? Well, to quote ancient Greeks, they had three motto in a single sentence: ethos, pathos, and logos, which literally means reading, writing, and giving advertisement in order to propagate their propaganda or make a point into the society. We can either read, we can either write, or follow an advertisement, which will literally make the entire generation in a society to follow and fall into the trap of anything. It might be positive, it might be negative, and so on. So they followed the agenda of ethos, pathos, and logos.